Hello students and friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic Materia Medica lesson, I will discuss about homeopathic medicines Zincum phosphoricum. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel for Learn Homeopathy Online Free and Homeopathy Materia Medica. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about Zincum phosphoricum, its uses and symptoms. Key times of aggravation of this remedy are morning, forenoon, afternoon, evening, night. He has a strong craving for warm, fresh air and is markedly sensitive to drafts. The open air ameliorates in general physical anxiety. Many symptoms are worse from ascending. Hands and feet and other single parts go to sleep and become numb. Many symptoms come on from bathing. Some symptoms are worse after breakfast. It has been a very useful remedy in the treatment of chorea, lack of vital heat, sensitiveness to cold air. Symptoms come on from becoming cold and in cold, wet weather. There is constriction like a band around the body. There are convulsions, clonic, epileptiform, hysterical, internal, tonic. Some complaints are worse and some are better from eating. Complaints are worse after the least physical exertion. Frequent fainting spells. Several kinds of food seem to disagree: bread, milk, sweets, warm drinks, cold drinks ameliorate. Marked formication all over the body. There is marked heaviness in the body and limbs. Great sluggishness and lack of reaction. Violent jerking in the body. Extreme lassitude with desire to lie down, yet lying in bed aggravates many symptoms. Worse before, during and after menstruation. Some symptoms are worse and some are better from motion. Most symptoms are worse on beginning to move. There is aversion to motion, numbness in many parts. Pains are very numerous: biting, boring, bruised, burning external and internal, cutting, pressing external and internal, stitching, tearing in muscles and nerves. Paralysis one-sided, of organs, painless. External and internal pulsation. Pulse, fast, intermittent, irregular, small, weak. He desires to be rubbed and most symptoms are ameliorated by rubbing. Sensitiveness prevails throughout the whole, proving especially to pain. Electric shocks are quite common. From looking at the proving as a whole, it may well be said that the symptoms resembled the results of sexual excesses. The symptoms are quite often one-sided. The symptoms come on while sitting, standing and during sleep. Throughout all the muscles a feeling of tension. Throughout the body and limbs extreme trembling and twitching. Uncovering aggravates. Walking ameliorates the restlessness and aggravates the weakness, ameliorates the pain in the back. There is marked weakness in the morning and evening, during menses, marked nervous weakness, worse walking. A sensation of extreme weariness. The patient is very sensitive to wet weather, to wind and to wine. Becomes angry from trifles and even violent, and his symptoms become worse from anger. Anxiety in morning, afternoon, night, with fever during menses, on waking. Wants things which he does not need. Aversion to being alone. Concentration of mind is quite difficult. Confusion of mind in morning, on waking, evening, after eating. Much annoyed by presentiment of death. Delirium, frightful, raving, rasping with fingers, picking at the bedclothes, violent. Delusions of fancy and even sees dead people, fire, images at night. Dullness of mind. Excitement. Attempts to escape. Mental exertion aggravates his symptoms. Exaltation of fancy. Constantly apprehensive, evening, night, of death, ghosts, of robbers, on waking. Very forgetful. His symptoms are worse from fright. He is heedless, impatient, impetuous, indifferent, extremely indolent, and appears like one going into imbecility. It should become one of our most useful remedies in insanity. Marked irresolution. Irritability in the morning, evening, with headache, during menses. Silly spasmodic laughter followed by loquacity. loathing of life. Malicious ideas come frequently. Memory very weak. Hilarity in the evening. Moods are very changeable. Morose, obstinate and easily offended. Mental prostration and aversion to work. Restlessness in the morning, evening, night, anxious. Sadness in the morning, afternoon, evening. Marked dullness of the senses. Sensitive to music and to noise. Sexual excess aggravates the mental symptoms, shrieking out in sleep. Inclination to sit in perfect silence, indisposed to speak. Speech at times is incoherent. Starting easily during sleep. Marked stupefaction with much vertigo. Thinks much about suicide. His thoughts wander and vanish. He talks in sleep. Unusual timidity. Unconsciousness from fainting. Much weeping, during menses. Vertigo in the morning in bed, forenoon, noon, night, during headache, after dinner, tendency to fall, with nausea, before menses, while sitting, while standing, while walking. The forehead is cold. There is constriction of the forehead and even of the whole head. Heat in the head especially in the evening, forehead. Hyperemia of the brain. Eruptions on the scalp. The hair falls out. The head feels heavy in the morning and in the evening, forehead, occiput. The scalp itches. Pain in the head, in the morning in bed, afternoon, evening, at night, better in the open air, worse on ascending steps, binding up the hair, better from cold applications, worse after eating, from becoming heated, with desire to lie down. Lying sometimes aggravates and sometimes ameliorates, before and during menses, from mental exertion, nervous and spinal headaches, worse from noises, paroxysmal, periodical every day, better from pressure, worse from the heat of the sun, from talking, while walking, warm room, wine. Pain in the forehead in the morning, above the eyes. Pain in the occiput, sides of the head, temples, vertex. Burning pain in forehead. Sore bruised pain in the head. Bursting pain in the forehead. Drawing pain in the forehead, occiput, temples. Pressing outward in the forehead, over the eyes, occiput, sides of head, temples, occiput, vertex. Stitching pains in the head on coughing, forehead, sides, temple, vertex. Stunning pains in the head. Tearing pains in the head, forehead, occiput, sides, temples, vertex. Perspiration of the whole head, forehead. Pulsation in the whole head, forehead. The brain is very sensitive especially during menses. Electric shocks in head. Agglutination of the lids in the morning. It has cured cataract. Thick mucopurulent discharge from the canthi. The eyes are very dry and lusterless. Heat and burning in the eyes. Inflammation of the lids. Itching of the lids and lacrimation in the open air. He lies with half-open eyes, pain in the eyes, biting, burning in the evening, pressing, shooting, stitching, tearing. Paralysis of the lids, optic nerve. Photophobia in sunlight. Pupils contracted and then dilated. Redness of the margin of the lids. Staring and sunken look. Edematous lids. Before the eyes there are floating spots, green colors, a halo of colors around the light. The vision is dim. Exertion of vision brings on many symptoms. There is flickering before the eyes. Vision becomes foggy. Bloody or purulent discharge from the ear. Itching in the ears. Noises, evening, night, with vertigo, buzzing, fluttering, ringing, roaring, whizzing. Pain in the ear, behind the ear, burning, stitching, tearing. Pulsation in the ear. There is swelling of the external ear and inside of the ears. Twitching of the ears. Hearing is impaired. Catarrhal irritation of the nose with redness of the skin of the nose. Caries are worse in the evening, fluent alternating with dry. Discharge from the nose, bloody, copious, excoriating, purulent, thick, from posterior nares. A sensation of dryness in the nose. He blows blood from the nose. The nose feels obstructed. Itching inside the nose. soreness inside the nose. Smell at first acute, later diminished. Frequent sneezing. The nose is red and swollen. The lips are dry and cracked. Much discoloration of the face, bluish circles around the eyes, earthly or pale, sickly face. Eruptions on the nose, pimples on the face and forehead, vesicles. The expression is sickly and haggard. Much itching of the skin of the face. It has cured right-sided paralysis of the face. The face looks sunken and distressed. The lips are swollen. There is a twitching of the muscles of the face. Small ulcers of the lips and corners of the mouth. The gums bleed and the tongue is cracked. The mouth is dry and the tongue is coated white. The gums are painful and sore and the tongue burns. The pupils on the tongue are erect. Salivation with bloody saliva, scorbutic gums. The gums are much swollen. Taste: bad, bitter, insipid, metallic, saltish, sweetish. Small ulcers upon the gums. Vesicles upon the tongue. The teeth become loose. Pain in the teeth, masticating, from pressure, on going to sleep, burning, drawing, jerking, pulsating, sore, stitching, tearing. Constriction and dryness in the throat. Constriction of the esophagus. Frequent hawking. Throat is much inflamed. Sensation of a lump in the throat. Constant formation of tenacious mucus in the throat. Constantly scraping the throat. Pain in the throat on swallowing, burning, pressing, rawness, soreness. Spasms of the esophagus on swallowing. Difficult swallowing of solids or liquids. Swelling of the throat, tonsils, and uvula. Drawing and pressing in the sides of the throat externally. Appetite is variable, capricious, diminished, increased, even ravenous, ravenous after eating, wanting at noon, wanting with thirst. Aversion to food, to cooked food, to meat, to sweets, to warm drinks, to wine. Constrictive sensations in the stomach. Desires beer and cold drinks. A sensation of emptiness in the stomach. Eructations, in the evening, ameliorated by, after eating, ineffectual, acrid, bitter, empty, tasting of the food eaten, sour after eating and after milk, water brash. Fullness after eating with heaviness. Hiccup after eating. Heaviness in the stomach. Nausea, in the morning, noon, after eating, during headache. Pain in the stomach, morning, evening, after eating, during menses, burning, cramping, cutting, gnawing, fuming, soreness, stitching. Sinking in the stomach with retching. Extreme thirst in the afternoon and evening. Vomiting, morning, after drinking, after eating, with headache, during pregnancy, bile, bitter, black, blood, brownish, food, green, mucus, sour, watery, yellow. Sensation of coldness in the abdomen. Distension of the abdomen after eating. Enlarged liver. Obstructed flatulence. Fullness after eating. Heaviness in the abdomen, sensation of a weight in hypochondria. Sensation of movements in the abdomen with gurgling. Pain in the abdomen, in the morning, in the evening, as if diarrhea would come on, after eating, before menses, during menses, paroxysmal, after stool, while walking, in hypochondria, in hypogastrium before menses, in the inguinal region, in the region of the umbilicus. Cramping pain in the morning, in the sides of the abdomen, in the umbilical region. Cutting pain in the region of the umbilicus. Dragging pain in the abdomen. Pressing in the hypogastrium and in the liver. Soreness in the hypochondria. Stitching pains in the abdomen, in the right hypochondrium, in the liver, in the side of the abdomen. Tearing pains in the abdomen. A nervous feeling in the abdomen, tension in the abdomen with rumbling. Constipation, alternating with diarrhea, stool very difficult, rectum inactive, no desire for stool, unsatisfactory stool, ineffectual straining, the stool is dry, hard, large, light-colored. Diarrhea, afternoon, evening, painless, involuntary, with brain affections. The stool is bloody, brown, copious, frequent, green, offensive, watery. Copious flatus which ameliorates symptoms, offensive. Formication and itching in the anus in the evening. Hemorrhoids external, bleeding. Much moisture about the anus. Pain in the anus and rectum, during stool, burning, during and after stool, cutting, pressing, soreness, stitching, tearing, tenesmus after stool. Prolapsus of the anus. Inefficient urging to stool. Pressing pain in the bladder. Paralytic weakness of the bladder. Retention of urine. Spasmodic contractions in the bladder. Urging to urinate, night, ineffectual, sudden, must hasten or will lose the urine, sudden urging after urination. Urination dribbling, dysuria, feeble stream, frequent but worse at night, with interrupted stream. Urination involuntary but worse at night, during sleep, on coughing, after stool, weak bladder. Pain in the kidneys, cutting in the ureters, stitching in the kidneys, suppression of urine. Emissions of prostatic fluid during difficult stool. Hemorrhage from the urethra. Burning in the urethra during urination. Cutting and stitching in the urethra. Urine, albuminous, bloody, burning, cloudy on standing, dark, copious, sediment, cloudy, flocculent and sandy and red, sandy and white. It has cured where sugar was found in the urine. It has cured so-called nervous colorless watery urine. Troublesome, painful, strong, even violent erections at night. Pain in the testes, drawing pain in the testes, stitching pains in the penis and glands. Seminal emissions, without dreams. Sexual passions increased and even violent. Swollen testes. In the female the sexual desire is also increased. Inflammation of the ovaries. Leukorrhea, acrid, bloody, after the menses, yellow, white. Menses, absent, bright red, clotted, copious, frequent, late, scanty, protracted, suppressed. Pain in the vulva, in the ovaries, worse in the left. Bearing down before the menses, soreness in the vulva. Prolapsus of the uterus. Constriction of the larynx. A sensation of dryness in the larynx. Accumulations of mucus in the larynx. Burning, rawness and soreness in the larynx and trachea. Tickling and scraping in the larynx. Hoarseness with coryza. Rough, weak voice. Respiration is accelerated, anxious and asthmatic, worse at night, spasmodic asthma, difficult, evening, night and after eating, irregular, rattling, short, suffocative. Cough, daytime, day and night, morning, afternoon, evening, night, asthmatic, from deep breathing, constant, after dinner, dry evening and night, exhausting, hacking, from irritation in the larynx and trachea, a nervous cough, paroxysmal, racking, during rest, short, worse sitting, better rising and moving about, spasmodic, spinal cough, tickling cough, violent. It has been a very useful remedy in whooping cough. Expectoration, daytime only, morning, bright, red blood. Blood streaked, difficult, frothy, greenish, mucus, purulent, tasting putrid and sweetish, viscid, yellow. An anxious feeling in the chest. Constriction as of a band, of the heart, in spinal affections. Pimples on the chest. Oppression of the chest. Pain in the chest, evening, during cough, on deep breathing, in the heart, aching in the chest, burning in the chest with rawness on coughing, cutting, pressing, soreness on coughing, soreness in mammy. Stitching pains in the chest, on coughing, deep breathing, sides of chest, worse in the left side, in the heart. Palpitation, she feels every beat of the heart, anxious, heart pounds like a hammer, on waking. When spinal affections change into phthisis. Spasms of the chest. Sensation of great heat, even burning in the back. Itching and formication of the back. Convulsive motions of the muscles of the back even to opisthotonos. Pain in the back, during chill, before menses, on motion, rising from a seat, while sitting, while standing. Some pains are ameliorated walking, cervical region. Pain in the dorsal region, between the scapulas, in the spine. Pain in the lumbar region, during menses, on motion, rising from a seat, while sitting, better walking. Pain in the sacrum. Pain in the coccyx, during menses. Violent pain in the spine while sitting, better walking. Aching in the lumbar region. Bruised pain in the back, cervical region. Burning pain in the back and spine, lumbar region. Drawing pain in the back, between the scapulas, in the lumbar region. Pressing pain in the back, lumbar region. The spine is very sore to touch, dorsal region, coccyx. It is a most useful remedy in spinal irritation. Stitching pains in the back, in scapulas. Tearing pains in the back, in the cervical region, in the scapulas. Stiffness in the back, in the cervical region. Great weakness in the lumbar region. Chilblains of the feet. A most useful remedy in chorea. Cold extremities, upper limbs, hands, fingertips, thighs in the morning, feet icy cold at night. Cramps in the lower limbs, cuffs and feet. Blueness of the hands. Dryness of the hands and fingers. Pimples and vesicles on the extremities. Formication, especially of the feet. Heat of the palms and feet, burning soles. Heaviness of all the limbs. Itching of the skin of all the limbs. Jerking of the lower limbs, worse during sleep. Numbness of all the limbs. Pain of all kinds in the limbs, rheumatic, upper limbs, shoulders, lower limbs, thighs and legs, in the heel. Pain down the sciatic nerve. Burning in the upper limbs, forearm, hands, lower limbs, thighs, feet, soles. Drawing in the limbs, upper arm, forearm, thighs, thighs in the evening ameliorated by motion, worse sitting, better walking, knees, legs. Sore bruised pain in the limbs, thighs, legs. Stitching pain in the limbs, upper limbs, shoulder, hands, lower limbs, hips, thighs. Tearing pains in the limbs, joints, upper limbs, shoulder, upper arms, forearm, wrist, hand, fingers, lower limbs, hip, thigh, knee, leg, toes. Painless paralysis of the lower limbs. Perspiration of the hands, cold, lower limbs, feet, offensive foot sweat, suppressed foot sweat. Restlessness of all the limbs, especially feet and legs. Stiffness of the lower limbs. Dropsical swelling of the feet. Tension in the hollow of the knee, in the legs, in the calf. Tension in the thigh, in the evening, worse sitting, better walking, better drawing up the limbs. Twitching of the upper limbs and thighs. Weakness of all the limbs but more especially of the lower limbs and legs. Comatose sleep, dreams, anxious, of falling, frightful, horrible, of misfortune, of great mental exertion, vivid. Late falling asleep. Sleepiness in the afternoon and after eating. Sleeplessness before midnight and after 3 a.m. Sleepless after waking. He is unrefreshed in the morning after sleep. Wakes up too early, 3 a.m. Frequent. Chill, afternoon, evening, cold air, in bed, after eating, external chill, shaking chill, after sleep. Fever, evening, night, alternating with chill flushes of heat. Perspiration, at night, cold, profuse, during sleep. Diminished sensation in the skin. Sensation of biting after scratching. Burning sensation in the skin after scratching. Objective coldness of the skin. The skin cracks easily. Red spots. Dryness with burning. Eruptions, boils, burning, herpetic, itching, moist, rash, scabby, worse after scratching, smarting, suppressed, suppurating, urticaria, worse after scratching, vesicular. Formication all over the body. Itching, biting, itching burning, itching crawling, itching stinging, worse in a warm bed. Hyperesthesia. Sticking pains in the skin. Ulcers, bleeding, burning, discharge bloody, indolent, itching, painless, smarting. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like Zincum phosphoricum, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. To learn homeopathy course online free with Homeopathy Materia Medica. Comment us your feedback and what you want in the next video. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and maishclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.